Hi y'all, welcome back. This is my Pen That Palette update for the end of November edition. Haven't updated in a while. I've been using the palette a lot, and I think I'm gonna call it a year on Modern Renaissance because I'm panning Modern Renaissance this year. So this is where I am. I hit the goal of hitting pan in every shade, though not the stretch goal of finishing every shade. But yeah, I've hit pan in everything, and the shades that are left are either not my favorite or I know I'm never gonna use them enough to finish them up all the way. Except for maybe Primavera, which is like almost done, just got those bits at the edges, but shimmers are always easy to finish, and Bonfresco technically isn't all the way done, it's that one. But yeah, I'm proud of myself at how far I got with this, but using it all of the time every day is no longer my jam. So what I might do is depot one or two, maybe like either Venetian Red or Love Letter, the pinky red ones, because I don't really have shades like that anywhere else. And then declutter the rest. Good palette, would recommend. Definitely got most of the year's worth of use out of this. So I do but don't like the size of the pans because you do get a lot of product overall, but the pans are very small. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. But yeah, so I'm gonna call it this year. I think I've hit as much use as I'm going to get out of it, so I'm gonna pot a couple of shades and then declutter. Yeah, so for 2021, am I going to do Pan That Palette again? Yes. And might as well introduce the next one. So I did a little bit of debating. Should I do it by age? Or debating on what the next palette should be? Because should I do it by age? Should I do it by size? Should I do it by how much use I actually intend to anticipate getting out of it? So what I decided is to do the smallest, newest, and most neutral palette of the three I still own. And also the most shimmer heavy, I think. So that should be slightly easier. This is the Ulta Beauty, what is this even called? It's called an 8-piece eyeshadow palette. It came in a free gift. I think I put it in the budget like a month or two ago. But yeah, I'm used a few singles on my face today in addition to this palette, but this is how it looks right now. Some of the, and then here's the sort of angled to see any dips. Yeah, so it's definitely a very solid neutral palette. Yeah, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers and 3 mattes. And yeah, it's definitely, some of the shimmers are a little powdery, which will lead to a lot of needing to build them up a little bit more. But that's all the same for me because that means I'll finish it faster. I do like the palette in general. Like, I like the vibe of the palette. I'm just trying to swatch everything just to show, but like, so I was just trying to swatch Gridlock and Nightlife, that one and that one, on the back of my hand, and it did take a little bit to kind of build them up to any kind of visible. And then Skyline Sunset, I think, is kind of almost a duochrome, not quite. Yeah, because the shift isn't that strong, but it's still there a little bit. And then City Lights is a kind of a gold shimmer. kind of close to my skin tone, so it might not quite show up. It's supposed to be like right there. Yeah, like right there. And then Wanderlust is the last shimmer, which is kind of a bronzy shimmer as well. And you can't really see either of those in this light. But yeah, so that's Wanderlust and that's City Lights. Of the 5 shimmers, I anticipate getting the most use out of those. Oh yeah, I should probably go through all of the shade names. So this is City Lights. This one is Meet Me Downtown. Every palette seems to have this shade, which is probably the one that's gonna wind up being the first to go for me, because it's always the first to go for me. Then this one is Wanderlust, and then that one is But First Coffee, which I like that name because same. And then Gridlock is kind of it's supposed to be some sort of icy pigmenty shimmer. And then that's Rush Hour, and that one is Nightlife, and that one is Skyline Sunset. So in terms of doing the new, I might not do it in the same way that I did Modern Renaissance, because with Modern Renaissance I was quite systematic about it. I went through, made sure each shade got hit the same amount of times, or at least approximately the same number of times. Because there's not as much of a distribution between shimmers and mattes and everything, it's going to be harder to do that with this palette. So what I might do is just to focus on one shade per month. And yeah, and then just kind of go across and then finish out. So, actually no, I'm just gonna so going with one shade per month to focus on is probably, you know what, I'm not going to be systematic about that either. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go by the shade that is most likely going to take me the longest to finish in general, which means I'm going to focus on Rush Hour first, this really dark shade right here. So I'm going to focus on that for the rest of December. When I use this palette, gonna use Rush Hour in every look, because if we look here in Modern Renaissance, the shades with some of the most still remaining are Cypress Umber and Red Ochre, which are the shade and Antique Bronze. Because those 3 shades all function very similar for me, which is like the dark, deep, buff out sort of shades. And so focusing on Rush Hour, this dark brown matte, is probably gonna, focusing on that first, will probably give enough of a lead to be able to finish it the rest of the year. And I'm going to try and run this through the end of December of 2021, unless it runs out sooner. I have used this a little bit before. Apparently there are 0.04 ounces of eyeshadow in each of these shades. It's 1.2 grams per shade, which roughly works out to 80 to 100 uses per shade. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And so that is my conclusion for Modern Renaissance. Gonna depot a red or 2 from here, put it in my singles palette, and then I'm gonna start the Ulta Beauty, whatever this palette is called. Alright, so that's my Pan That Palette update for the end of November of 2020. Thanks for joining me, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye!